सभी लोग खड़े हो जाएं। Everyone please stand. आरती। महादेव की जय। सभी लोग आसन लीजिए। एवरीवन प्लीज बी सीटेड। Let us all please clasp our hands and bow our heads as we all offer obeisance to the divine. First to Ganapati Devata. Om Bhadran Karnebi Shrunuyam Deva Bhadran Pashye स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नो सार्वरिक्षनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पति ददातु वन्दे देवमापतिं सुरगुरुं
वन्दे जगद्धारिणं वन्दे पङ्कजभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशुपतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवैर्यं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं
वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वर्धनम्
वन्दे शिवं
शङ्करं
वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्
हर 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 महादेवा हर 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 महादेवा
हर हर हर
शास्त्रमिदं प्रोक्तं विप्रेण हरतोषिये ये पतन्ति नरा भक्त्या तेषां शम्भु प्रसीदति तेषां शम्भु प्रसीदति। नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। उमापति महादेव की जय। सभी लोग स्वागत है। Let me take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you here tonight. This is the second night of our Mahashiv Puran Yajna. And to those of you who have joined us on social media, we welcome you also and invite you to stay with us for the next hour and a half. Before commence reading, I will now invite the Mandali to do for me 2 bhajans, one by Mesa, one by Shivi, and one by 3 bhajans, one by Ian. So,
जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर सब जग के हितकारी जय भोला बंधारी शिव जय भोला सब शंकर जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर सब जग के हितकारी जय भोला भंडारी शिव जय भोला भंडारी।
उमापति महादेव की जय। Now we hear from Shivana.
बंजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा इसी दिन ध्यान करो मैं तेरा 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 जन्म जन्म का मिटे अंधेरा 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 ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर रूपा ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर रूपा ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर रूपा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा भजुरे मानवा सद्गुरुदेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा परमखि पारु शंभो महादेवा।
उमापति महादेव की जय। Now we'll hear from Ian.
जय शिव शंकर जय शिव शंकर जय शंकर बोले सब देवों में देव निराले जय बम बम बोले
जय शिव शंकर जय शिव शंकर जय शंकर बोले
Last night, our katha was the story of Narad Muni, and in that reading from the scriptures, we were supposed to grasp the effects on our lives when our lives are dominated by desire and ego. And we were supposed to come to the realization that in God's world, all of the things that are around us are factors that will influence our lives. We cannot avoid how the weather changes our state of mind. For instance, this morning when everyone got up and realized that there was solid ice on all the windscreens outside, your feelings change. You got a bit of a frustrated feeling. Then when you went outside and you actually got to your car and you couldn't open the door, the frustration built up. Combined with the anxiety that you might be late for work and frustration of not being able to get into your car, when you finally got into the car and you turn on the windscreen wiper and you notice the blades were grazing against ice, now you're saying, God, what's wrong with you? That could happen to everyone. But of course, there were some of us who were cool and says, oh, it's snowing outside. I just don't have to go to work. I'll call in sick or I'll call in. We take every situation differently. 10 people will look at the same situation and react 10 different ways. And the reason is because of our psyche, our makeup, the way we think, the way we respond to life's challenges. That's how the situation may not change, but our responses will all be different because of our nature and makeup. What I may see as something to be calm and pleasant about, will be something to be angry and upset about, and so on. Thus, in the Katha of Narad Muni, we saw that whereby Raja Indra, afraid of his position, wanted to ensure his position, took steps, and not so, unworthy steps. He tried to usurp the status of another person whom he felt threatened by. And in so doing, he started a series of events that led from one wrong to the next wrong, to the next wrong, to the next wrong. And everybody got involved innocently for the actions of one person who was all about their own position and power. And by the way, this is very relevant to today's society, today's family life, and so on. Then I made the point that when one is caught between Maya and our ego, our desires, we start out with them, but ego and Maya says, okay, I will make it work for you. If you have desires, I will tell you how you can be the most powerful person, and Maya will say, look at all the opportunities you have. Does that mean we must not have desires? Of course we want to be rich. We want to be good looking. Isn't that true? Nobody's smiling. Everybody here wants to be good looking. Don't lie to ourselves. I'm trying to do that every day. Failing very, very much to do that. And we all want to be wealthy. We all want to have the capacity to purchase what we want. But just because I have money and I can purchase what I want, is that the wise thing to do? To purchase whatever I want? Some of us, because Amazon is online and you can return everything, we're purchasing everything. And we're spending money and we're not thinking. So there's no thought process in the purchasing. We're just purchasing, and our desires is nurtured by, well, let me try A, and then we see something else on Facebook, and then something flashes on our phone, and we're buying that too. And we do that with food also. Now that we can have, what is it called now? How do you deliver food home again, man?
Uber Eats.
No, what is the other companies?
Skip the dishes.
Uber Eat. Sita knows about Uber Eat. So Uber Eat is there. People are overeating at 1 a.m. I just felt like Uber eating, and we order pizza. You can get it any time in the day, by the way, 24 hours a day. So our desires, Maya is Uber Eats. Uber Eat is Maya. I will make it happen for you. Desire says, okay. Maya says, no problem. Ego says, I can afford it. Don't worry about it. And as such, we are in this constant turmoil of desire, being driven by ego, supported by Maya, and we are existing in the world whereby it's ongoing cycle. Tonight I want to continue on the same thought process about human interaction with each other, and I want to bring it home, closer to home, to family life. There's a beautiful katha about a character named Gunanidhi and his father and his mother and his wife and his outside paramour. You know, in this Shiva it's interestingly that many of the characters have external affairs. And I don't mean in the political sense. I mean in the sense of human relationships. Man will have more than one wife, and so on and so on. And as such, this is intended not to tell us that that is the way it should be, it's intended to tell us that is the way it should not be. And it shows us what are the challenges that will come from such situations. So we start off where this same Narad Muni that we heard about finally learned his lesson and has now come to the realization that he needs to get some more enlightenment. And he goes to Sutji Maharaj, who is now relating to him a katha. Narad Muni asked Sutji Maharaj to explain to him about how we can become enlightened to understand the way of the world and become a better person. Narad Muni is asking this because Narad Muni have felt the consequences of desire and ego and now moves into different directions. You hold that. Play those. Got it? Number 4 scale. Number 4 scale. And then Ma. Pick it up. Asiktami palangre somayajikulo bhava dikshito yagyadatakyo yagya vidya visharada. In a very ancient city, there was a Brahmin Purohit priest who came from a very, very high lineage of Purohits. And his name was Yagya Datta. Yagna Datta. And he was well renowned because he was well trained to be a priest and was well looked upon by all the people in his environment, in that realm. This person, Yagya Datta, Asidhi gunin nirdham dikshitasya vaisuta krito panyanye sau esto vidya jagra purisha ata pitrana vigyato dut karma to bhavat. He was very fortunate to be blessed with one child, a son. The son's name was Gunanidhi. Gunanidhi, as a child, was born and was very well mannered and pleased and well taught and loved by both mother and father. But after Gunanidhi had reached the stage for this Yagya Pavitra ceremony, which is somewhere between 11 and 13, 14, after that ceremony, he studied all of the Vedas. His father taught him everything that he could teach him. And Gunanidhi was someone who was considered to be one who would follow in his father's footsteps. But unfortunately, Gunanidhi became a victim of gambling. Now, remember tonight's katha is about family life. And the world that we live in, our children are exposed to get into gambling at a very early age. You can gamble online. The advertisement is gamble wisely. That's the advertisement. And parents today have a tendency to get their children allowances on credit cards. or they will have cards that they can use as money value. But most students today, from the age of 12 and onward, have a cell phone and they have a credit card. They are given a credit card that they can buy lunch, and in emergency they can use it, but the credit card can be used for gambling also. So in Yajnadatta's time, and his son Gunanidhi, they have freedom also, because he was the only child and he had freedom of access to all the family's possessions. And here is what happened. After this child, somehow or the other got involved with the wrong crowd and get engaged in gambling. Adayadaya bahushesh vandang Vanam matu sakashat samadhada dutakaro bhuyo maitri tacha chakarasa. With his association with the wrong company, he brought a tremendous amount of wealth and became engaged in gambling, and he contributed to the gambling industry. He was making the industry rich, because he was a gambler every day at the local casino, wherever that was at that time. And of course, he was a well-loved person in his group. Yep, Gunanidhi, you're it, man. We know you. Yeah, man, how you doing? Come on over. We're rolling the dice tomorrow morning. And so on and so on. So, Gunanidhi was a very happy child. And Gunanidhi's mother loved him. All the things he was taught by his father, he flouted. Mother and father would say, son, are you not doing your prayers in the morning? You don't get up on time. You go to bed so late at night. Come on, mom, give me a break. Dad, give me a break. And his father, being father, as we are told, the scriptures tells us, when he started to do this, the father, being busy with his Purohit karma, these Pandits, they're always out in the morning early, late in the evening, they never have time for their family life. And he never got time to see his son, but from time to time when he would ask, here's what the mother would say. And mothers, please pay attention. Whenever his father would always ask about him, and in his preoccupied way, he's very busy, but he still asks, the mother would say, oh, he's taking a bath. He's busy, he's not here right now. Or he's doing puja right now, don't disturb him. Or he's studying. Or no, he's out with his friends. And so things like that. Does that sound familiar? And as such, since she had only one son, this mother considered this was her gem of her life. And she would do everything and tell everything. And she also told lies for her son. Should a mother love a son, a child that much, that she will lie to her husband? I think every mother has done that sometime or the other. In the intention of being protective, or because father is not attentive. By the way, this katha is not to paint the father as a saint and the mother as a son, not saintly. No. This katha is to show human nature. It is not to demeanor women or to elevate men or vice versa. It is to show human nature, and all men and women are afflicted by human nature. Thus, the father, because of his busy schedule, may not be very attentive to the child, but in that time and age, the mother's main duty was to be attentive to the child. And as such, she did attend to the child, but she was fully aware of what the child was doing. Natat karma chadavritam kichidveti sadikta sarve keshant karmasya chakra veshat shoshiso. Dikshit, the father, this is the lineage he came from. The tradition was when a son reaches a certain age, at least about 16, he should be married. The father, doing his duty, find a nice girl for him, a Brahmin girl, and married him off at the age of 16. So the father brought him up, educated him, gave him all the knowledge. Mother nurtured him, projected love, and said, son, time for you to move on. Time for you to take on responsibility of the Grihast ashram. So, of course, what happens? The mother, realizing the attitude of her son, knowing that he's engaged in gambling, does not allow the daughter knowledge of this. The mother is being protective. Mothers, protective mothers. So what does the mother do? The mother, of course, wanting in the best interest of her son, decides to hold his note. क्रुध्याते स्थितया स महात्मा पितेञ्जलम् यदि ज्ञास्तेति वृतं त्वां चामान्ताय इष्टति. She got him down and sat him down one day and said, my son, your father is of a harsh temperament. You know, fathers, they're the ones who do the whipping in the family, right? Although some of us are known to get a little pot spoon here and there from my mother, but father is the big scolding agent. I know in my family, my father was the one, and boy, he was good at it. When he finished with you, you couldn't sit down for a while. And as such, the mother said, your father is like this. In case he comes to know of your gambling activities, he will surely beat you and he will beat me also. Of course, in this day and age, that still happens. Husbands beat wives and so on. Of course, आचादयमी ते नित्यं पितुर्गृहे कुचेतिस्तं लोकमायोदिस्ते तथा सदाचारो वैधने. Says your father is a respected person because he's a sadacharo, his noble character. He's a good human being. He's just there serving. He's busy because he's serving society. And he says he's not given this reverence because of his wealth. He's not loved by the people because he's wealthy or he's good looking, but because of his duty to the society. She goes on. Brahmano nanam dhanam tata सिद्ध्याद्यं साधु संगमं किमर्थने करोषि त्वं स्वारुचि प्रीतमानस. He says, oh my son, the duty that your father is performing, this status of being a priest is a good profession. It's revered by all, here and hereafter. And he says, then how is it that you do not want to follow in your father's footsteps? What has made you drift to this? How many mothers and fathers have not asked themselves the question, how did my child get involved in this? How could you, child who was brought up in here, got involved in drugs and this and that? Oh, we never did that, child. They're amazed. They're lost. And in their amazement and loss, they're afraid to tell anyone about their children's and their challenges. And as such, the mother becomes very protective, does not inform the father, hiding the activity of the child. And what does that lead to? It leads to degradation of the family relationship. Because ultimately, what happens? Pratikshanam janam yeti शिक्षक्षमानोऽपि दुर्मति न तत्याज तृष दुर्गो वासति यथा. Thus the mother, scolding her son, always extended good advice to her son, but he never cared for her advice. And his evil is he was so addicted to this gambling that it doesn't matter how much love and affection his mother will bestow upon him, thinking that, look, I love you so much, change. He will go to bed at night saying, yes, mom. Next day, he's back to the same old story again. Those of us in this world that we live in here today, maybe of families of those challenges, or maybe not to us, but no families who have these challenges, where with all good intention, we talk to our children, tell them everything for the best, and they say, yes, mom, yes, dad. The next day, they do exactly what they said they will not do. Parents are asking the question, what's wrong with my child? And then they go to Panditji and say, Panditji, can you check the panchang? And see, maybe this child have a grah. Does the child have a grah? Is there a responsibility on the parent's shoulder? Did they do a good job? Well, the father would say, look, I taught him everything. I did my best. What do you want me to do? I'm working day and night to provide for the family. What else can I do? And the mother will say, look, you're never there when we need you, but I'm always putting up with all their problems. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to disagree with them? You want them to leave home? By the way, I'm reading Mahashi Puran. Does it sound like today? What's happening in the world? Yes. These scriptures were written fully aware of what this world, this Maya, will present us and the challenges we will face. And as such, children at an early age are making decisions. Now we have said we have reached the age of maturity, whereby children will get married after 21 and so on. But in this country, at the age of 16, children can do whatever they want to do. And funny enough, what age did he marry his son up to? 16. Did they know then that the government will make 16 the legal age? They were very wise. And as such, the dialogue continued with the mother and the child. Mrigyaya dadoparu yani chaitadu dare savara dare sarvanai rebhi kautrana kandina. She says, the question he's asking, or a statement is being made by Suji Maharaj and Narad Muni, is there anywhere in this world whereby a family relationship is not shattered totally when the family members, any one of them get engaged in indulging in their case, hunting was not a good thing to do. Consumption of alcohol, backbiting, lying, stealing, gambling, and visiting house of prostitutions. This is what's written here. And he says, when those things are engaged in, then it leads to chaos and degradation of the family structure. All of the above or one of the above, all will contribute to that. It goes on. Yadyan grihe pashyet tatra vasudurmati arpayedarditya karanam sukrityam vasanadikam. The mother poured her love to her son. She literally held him to her bosom and caressed him and hugged him and kissed him on the cheek and told him how much he's the best child in the world. Of course, he's the only child in the world, in her world. And as such, everything was for him. And she says to him with all this love and affection, this son, whatever valuable wealth was in the house, every opportunity he will get, he would steal a piece of valuable jewelry, steal the ornaments, steal anything that he can get his hands on so he can nurture his addiction to gambling. So it is in this world today. Those who are addicted either to substance abuse or to gambling, they will pick up everything. Nothing will stop them. I am aware of families who have these problems. And I'm aware of how badly they find themselves in debt, and the person, whether it's the husband or the wife, and by the way, it's not only children who do this. Gambling addiction and substance addiction is not only allocated to children. Parents are addicted to gambling and substance abuse equally as children are. And as such, the entire society suffers from that. Umayapati Mahadeva ki jai. As such, he has taken everything from the family, everything of value. And then one day the father, going to the marketplace where jewelry is being sold, Nanyastamratan mairige karasya pituru parkakam choraidhyeve kadardaya duradyare paryata. Once this young man, Gunadidi, took his father very precious diamond-studded ring and took it and sold it away. Then, Dikshite pare gyato dayavadrita krita kare uvacha dikshitasyam cha kutodalam tvayomika. Fortunately, the father found this ring in a marketplace and asked the person, where did you get this ring from? How did you get this ring? And then the person, who of course is one of the people who, what they call them, who handles the gambling goods? What's the term? The dealer. The dealer, right? Yeah. The person who takes the goods and this, and no, is that the term they use? When you have, no, pawnbroker, there's a term that when the guys steal all this stuff, they can't dispose of it. They have to give it to someone else to.
I think it's a dealer. No?
Is it dealer? No. Okay, the people rob the diamonds, but they can't sell it themselves. They give it to someone else who does work too. What do you call that person? Is it the dealer?
The broker.
Huh?
The broker.
Get the man a big hand, please. The fence, he's the guy who fences the diamonds. So these people in the marketplace, when he took it and he gambled and lost it, the people who won it gave it to the fence, who will sell it back to somebody else. And you never heard that? You're not in the gambling business, obviously. As such, but you watch in movies when they rob the bank and they have what they call money laundering, it goes through the fence, meaning somebody's taking it and they take it 80 cents to the dollar. So you got $1 million, okay, we'll get you $800,000 and we'll take it and then we'll sell it back for $1 million. By the way, that's how it works. Don't try to get into the business anyway, right? As such, so the fence explained to the father, by the way, no, I bought this ring. But you need to look at home. Maybe there's somebody in there that is doing something that you don't know about. And the father goes home. And of course, who does he talk to? He goes home. The father gets a lesson from the fence about the character of his son. The fence is talking to the father about the character of his son. Nangani kritva pratidinam vadyate dutakaribi nate nasadrisha kaschidda shikko bhumi mandale. The fence tells the father, he says, your son is such a gambler that sometimes he gambles and even his clothes the gamblers take away from him. Because when they are gambling, everything is at stake. And sometimes they make him stark naked. But he has to give up his kurta, dhoti, everything is gone on, everything is lost. Everything is up for gambling. And he says, how come you do not know your son is engaged in this? Are you blind? How could you not see this? How many parents are not aware of the things that their children are involved in until they suddenly make a discovery that the children are involved in relationships, the children involved in substance abuse or the wrong company, and then, oh my God, because their parents trust their children. The parents says, leave them alone, give them freedom, and so on and so on and so on. And like the mother wanting not to tell everything to the father. I'm not blaming mothers, by the way. Fathers do the same thing. They hide for their children. And as such, in their protectiveness, they are allowing their children not to be given proper guidance or have the benefit of some guidance. Parents may do their best at times and children will still, or an adult may be engaged. I can tell you stories of adults who are, sometimes you want to know how come they're in society, and then parents and children who have come victims of society itself. This scripture was written so long ago, but yet it reflects the reality of society today. And when it's read, I must say that we listen to the story. I could have told you this Gunanidhi story in 5 seconds, 5 minutes. There was a man who had a bad son and he took all the jewelry and sold it away as a gambler. And then he married a woman. He was having other women outside. And for that, God punished him. Done. Katha. End. But that's not the way this katha should be done. We must relate it to our day-to-day lives. And when we are listening to this katha, every one of us, including me, are reflecting about our lives. We are reflecting upon A incident, B incident, and I assure you, some of you are going to leave and say, Pandit was talking to me. Yes, everybody. I am the me. Yes, that is the purpose when we come for Siksha. We listen and we reflect and we hopefully put into practice and reflect as, how could I avoid that? Or if it did happen to me, what should I do going forward? Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. The father comes back home and approaches his wife. Yajnadatta, that is the father, speaks to his wife. Dikshitayani kutrastri durto gunanidhi sutaham atatistu kim netkva samam shubho kirmaka. Gunanidhi sutta. Where is your son Gunanidhi? Do you know where he is? Do you know what he's doing? Now this mother is fully aware of what her son is doing. She's been sheltering him from his father and her husband. And he says, Gunanidhi, what have you done with him? The father is saying. And then he asked her, where is my beautiful finger ring that you put away from me? Of course he knows where it is. He's asking her. Ange durvana kaleya tvaya moline huta satvam vrantami sridhro tamaniya prayakshame. You've taken it out while you took it off from me while you were applying cream on my body. Remember the other day? He's telling his wife? When you were applying cream on my fingers, you took that ring off. By the way, they used to do that then. They still do that now, apply cream on the fingers and so on. Over my body, you were, go and bring that for me. Where did you put it? Iti sutvatya tarakyam bhitasa dikshatayani provacha snanamayi triyam naspaya tatha. On hearing the words of her husband, the wife became panicked. Oh my God. She knows it's not where it's supposed to be. Oh Deva, don't bother me now. I have to go take a bath. I'll talk about this later. I'm collecting puja materials to do puja tonight. Don't bother me. This is what's written here, by the way, okay? Right? And we are having guests coming over because we're having puja today. You remember that? Do you know how much things we have to do? Please don't bother me now. We'll talk about this later. And I have to prepare meals. That is exactly the katha that's written. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? This is how the story goes. This is how we evade the dealing and addressing the issue. We find, I'm too busy to do that, and so on and so on. Dikshita, or Yajnadatta, as he's called also, continued to speak to his wife. Now he's getting angry because he knows the truth and she's not admitting to the truth. Hamho satputra janani nityam satya prabhashiti यदा यदा त्वं संपृष्टे तन्यक्वा गतिस्तवीत्. He spoke in anger. O woman, you gave birth to a degraded son. Where did he come from? Is he my son? Are you sure he's my child? You always told me that he's gone out with his friends, he's doing this, he's studying, and he's outside. Kutaste shataka patni mamiksheyo yama pita labate yoga nishcham dhanti tattambuhi bhayam tvaja. O wife, I'd give you a silk sari, a red color. Can you bring it for me, please? Because the fence also showed him. He said, not only I got a ring, I got a red sari also. He said, could you bring me that red sari that I bought for you? And he said, which was hanging in the house always. I always see it. Where is it? Please tell me the truth. Don't be afraid. Let us pause for a moment. And as Rukmini will be doing for one bhajan for us, I want all of us to reflect upon our lives and the people we know. And I'm sure we'll find this katha relating to some way in our lives or to other people's lives. Because the question we'll be asking afterwards, how do we avoid these situations? How do we overcome them? How do we cope with them? Because they are what is called the essence of Maya. Now, bhajan please. Which one?
Daya karo Shiva Ganga. दया करो शिवा गंगा धारी दया करो शिवा गंगा धारी दया करो शिव गंगा धारी दया करो शिव गंगा कृपा करो शिव हे त्रिपुरारी कृपा करो शिव हे त्रिपुरारी कृपा करो शिव हे त्रिपुरारी कृपा करो
Devaki. Yagyadatta continues to speak to his wife, and he says, by the way, not only the sari, nowadays I don't find that, you know, the golden vase that we used to have on that counter there, with the studded diamonds? And what about my silken scarf that I used to have? Where is that? And what about that bronze vase that we used to sit over there on the cabinet? Where is the copper pot that we got from Bengal? Where is all of these things? And you know that ivory swing that I made that was outside? Even that is not there anymore. And you didn't know all of these things were missing? Oh, my dear wife. He says to her, Kim bahutena kulajye tubyam kuyayam brita. He said, oh, Brahmin woman, he's sounding frustrated now. You come from a very highly and educated family. I cannot believe that you are this kind of a person. I am uselessly getting angry with you. It's pointless to talk to you. Just go get my food, please. So, and I'll have to find another wife. Simple and straight. Those were his statements. And he goes on. Anpatyosti tenam drishtre kula dushina utastaye patasvam tasme didhya tilajilam. He said, I would have been better off without a son who has brought such blemish to my family lineage. Remember, every one of us talk about family lines. He said, you know what my father was? Do you know how your grandfather will see this? Do you know how your uncle will see this? Do you know how your sister? The lineage. We refer to all of them when we are scolding one of our family members. Because we build ourselves on that. We take pride in that family lineage. He says, you know, I feel so frustrated. Look, go get me some water so I can shower. And then I'll offer prayers to my departed relatives because I only have to ask them to guide me now. Speaking to his wife and continue to speak to himself in some way. Aputravam varnenam kuputra kupapam sanat tvajetkam kulasyartho Niti resha sanatani. He says, it is better to be that I didn't have children, that I couldn't have children, than to have a sinful son. Therefore, preserving the sanctity of this family, I am disowning this child. He's not my child. He's not my child. He cannot be my child. Because my child will not be this type of a person. Snatatva vidhi kritva tasminnam vahi kastitya srotriyasya sutam praptyam pani jagra dikshita. The Brahmin then went and took his bath, performing his daily prayers, and then suitably in the next few days found another woman and got married. He left his wife and found another lady. This happens in the world we live in. It happens. The circumstance may be different, but we will pause at this point of the katha and continue tomorrow. Because we want to see what happens to this Gunanidhi. We know what is happening to the family. The family is totally broken. Totally broken. Who's responsible for that? I'm not going to deliberate that tonight, but let's ask ourselves questions to each other. Some families are broken, but they look in the window shade and they're not broken, but they're shattered. On outside they look, everything is going good, but inside there is great pain and anguish because of the actions of the children. And the parents are blaming each other. And thank God they can hold on to that, at least that family relationship, and not let it be destroyed by the action of a child. If I can venture any kind of observation, there is not a perfect world, and there's not a perfect child, there's not a perfect husband, nor a perfect wife. We are all human beings, and we are all vulnerable. But we must caution ourselves that when we are in relationship to dealing with each other, are we doing the best thing for the child? Or are we doing the right thing for the child? Are we doing the best thing for the situation? Are we doing the right thing? Some of us as parents do the nice things for our children and not the right things. Some of us in our dealing with each other, we do what is the nice things and not the right things, and like sheltering and hiding and not being, as we say, transparent across the board. Because ultimately it comes back to haunt us in some other situation. So transparency in human relationship is a key factor. Yes, there will be things done wrong, but then in transparency, then comes God's gift of understanding and forgiveness and compassion. The father has no forgiveness. He says, this is it, I've had it. There could be consolation in this situation. There could be what we call quote unquote counseling. If when the problem was identified and there was understanding between the husband and wife and they sought outside guidance, third party without any emotional involvement, to listen and to care. And by the way, somebody's wrong and somebody's right, but nobody's wrong and no one is right. There's no right and wrong in these situations. It is what do we do to make it better. If we spend our lives finding out who's right and who's wrong, we will never make it better. When we go to court, someone wins and someone loses, and the loser tries to go to the higher court. It never ends. So it is not a court's jurisdiction, it is a human tendency jurisdiction. We sit, we talk, we understand, we forgive, we forget, and we move on. These are the things and the approaches we have to take in life. And by the way, this is Mahashiv Puran. What is written in this book? In these Puranas, there's a Katha of Rama, the birth of Prabhu Ram. There's Katha about Krishna. There's Katha, all of the other scriptures, but all of these stories are there to tell you about human interaction with humanity and all of the elements that God has brought into this world. I will continue tomorrow, the Katha of Kunanidhi. Now that his parents have faced the consequences of their karma, what happens to him? Now remember, he has no mother, he has no father, he's desolate. He's out there on his own, he has a wife, but he's already addicted to gambling, he's caught into that, his poor wife is in misery, everybody's in misery. Could it have been avoided? That'll be the question that we'll answer tomorrow night, throughout the night. Could it have been? Could it have been rectified if there was early intervention? If there was an early pause? I want to tell you that I have been privileged or cursed to meet with lots of people who have challenges. And I always say to them who come and sit and talk to me, I said, you're very brave. You should be very proud. You took the time to come and talk to someone asking help. Whether I can help you or not, I don't know. But the fact that you took that time to do that, you recognize you need help, you are on your way for recovery. But if you never take that step to seek help, thinking you know it all and you'll solve your problem, you will live in total misery. You know this song, Pinjare ke Panchi Re? It goes like this. Pinjare ke Panchi Re तेरा दर दर जाने हो, तेरा दर दर जाने हो, चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल के पाले रखना दिखा dil ke chale re. He says, when we victimize ourselves by not reaching out for help, chupke, quietly, we are crying on the inside. Rakhna chipake, dil ke chale re, hiding the bruise in our hearts, our inner emotional trauma. Ye patthar ka desh hai. You fool, this world is stone-hearted people. Nobody's going to come out and try to help you if you don't go to ask for help. As such, don't be of that nature. Seek help. Seek out the help. Be conscious of who you're seeking help from. Those who are concerned with your welfare, who will see your situation as one that has to be dealt with delicacy and intimacy and secrecy. Yes, we need to reach out. Many of the families who have suffered most from these problems have not reached out and never reached out. Remember, families, it takes an entire village to bring up a child, not just two people that they call themselves husband and wife and mother and father. An entire village. A child spends more time with society and outside of the home than they spend inside of a home the minute they start to walk. That's the reality of society. So Katha tonight is about family life and the challenges we face. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. I invite anyone who would like to ask questions about this subject matter, or who may feel there's a need to talk about this subject matter, whether personal or otherwise, please feel free to connect with me if you feel that I can be of any value to you. There are many ways to do this. You can call, make an appointment in the office. If that's too, then you can go on, send me a direct email, or go find a psychologist, go find a doctor, go find a guru, anyone you can talk to. Go find your elder aunt, your grandfather, your grandparent, anyone who will be not emotionally attached. Because when we're emotionally attached, we are influenced by our, what they call, partisan. I like him, I don't like her, so his story makes sense to me, her story doesn't make sense to me, and so on. You have to get people who are non-partisan, who will see and without emotions, understand the situation and advise accordingly. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Prasad Charaj. Did anyone bring prasad to offer? If you did, please. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Bol Namah Shivaya, Om
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Bol Namah Shivaya, Om
Namah Shivaya, Namah
Let me take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you who have joined us here today. We'll be having Aarti in the next 2 minutes. For those who are here, please stay for Aarti. And we want to remind you that Navgraha Puja is on February 25th. And we are continuing with our Yajna. Tomorrow is Mahashivratri. There'll be puja here in the morning at 6 a.m. for those who can come. And then the mandir is open all day. And then at 6 p.m. we start the first Prahar Puja. There'll be one complete puja to the lingam with Abhishek for everyone to be involved. And then when that puja is finished, there'll be no offering anything to the lingam until the next Prahar. So at 6 p.m., it will take about 45 minutes or an hour to do puja, and then we'll wait until 9. But there'll be an ice lingam placed on the small mandir where devotees will come in between, and there'll be another lingam who wants to make offerings to the lingam and who wants to leave. And you'll be able to do Archana lingam, there'll be Katha, Bhajan, Parvachan going on, and then at 9 o'clock, second Prahar. We repeat the same puja again. And at 12 o'clock, same thing, and then at 3 a.m., and then we stay until the morning for the final Aarti. This is the program which will take us into Sunday morning. Some of us will be here for 24 hours, or a little bit more than that. But as I said, see, this is a vrat, in that you could lose a couple of pounds, in the process, and that can't hurt anybody. And you can stabilize your diet by having simple liquids, nutritional liquids, fruits and juices, nothing too creamy. Ice cream is not recommended at that time, and so on. But fruits and bland food, dahi, and so on, very good to eat, or very light meals. But don't starve yourself if you've never done that before, because all you're going to do is think about food all day. Don't go there. If you've never done it, don't do it. Just take simple food to maintain the appetite and keep the germs in the tummy happy. Because if they're not happy, they'll make noises, okay? So that is the way we should spend the day. And how many of you might have had an opportunity to might have heard or listened to my Shivratri message? Anybody got it on the, whatever, put your hands up if you did. Some of you got it, but you didn't read it yet. You just slipped by it, I know that. Because I sent it to quite a few people. Do take the time to, if you have received it, listen to it. I think it does send a very clear message, and it will be sent off to everyone on our mailing list. Arvinda, did it go out to everyone? Tomorrow morning will be gone. Tomorrow morning will release, and I want to, Amit, please stand up. I want you to give a round of applause to this young man, please. Amit ji has been helping me over the last 3 months now in preparing podcasts. We'll do filming and preparing. He's working on a series that we'll be launching by the end of March, and it'll be launched on YouTube and Facebook and other media on subject matter similar to what we've talked about today. Specific little podcasts on a specific aspect of human endeavor, family life, challenges, devotion, meditation, all of these things. Same-sex marriage, sexuality, all of these subjects that are part of reality of life that we don't want to talk about, we will talk about. Financial management, all of that stuff. Education, career choice, all of these will be part of that. And he's been doing all of the filming and the editing. And it is his handwork for that Shivratri message that was sent out. For those of you who have seen it, you will see the music and there's text in it also, that so those who cannot hear can read, and so on and so on. So this is done that way. So let's give him another round of applause and thank you very much. Thank you. Now, if anyone wants to help us with this, we need volunteers, because there's a lot of work. If we're going to do the volume of these filming, the filming has to be done, then there's editing, then music editing, and then the launching and maintaining of all of that. It's a major task. So I know that Sunita and Rohan has agreed to help with this also. Somewhere along the line, we will get them engaged. And anyone else who wants to help to make this, because we believe that this is the way of the future. And that is why we've been encouraging our selfie program in the mandir. But we haven't done it. Tomorrow night, there will be lots of selfie. Everybody bring your cell phone to the mandir tomorrow night. Okay, please? There'll be lots of flashlight moment where everybody turns on the light and so on. So, upcoming event after Shivratri, of course, is Holi. On March 6th, Holika Dahan, we will be burning an effigy of Holika by Havan, and then of course celebrate a bit of Holi that night, and then the next day you celebrate in your home. We will not be using colors in the mandir. We can use some colors outside. Hopefully the weather is not like today, it's a little bit warmer. If you do want to celebrate in mandir on that evening, which is, I believe, is a Tuesday? It is a Tuesday? March 6th?
7th is a Tuesday.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday. And if you want to celebrate in the mandir, the only way I will allow you to celebrate in the mandir, you can bring flower petals, pink petals, yellow petals, or red petals, and you could shower each other with it. So we can have a petal showering. And perfume. I recommend Chanel No. 5. It's the one that I like. Or anything else. What is the other one? Arvind, anything you could recommend? No? Sunita? You? Okay, good. Sam? The one that Baini brought for you for your birthday? Whatever that. Okay, so let's make it a fun day, but let's not make it a messy day. Now, talking about messy and cleaning, how many of you are aware of the graffiti on our mandir at the front of this wall here? Put your hands up. Hatutai. If you're aware of it, put your hands up. Some people don't know about it yet. I suggest before you leave the mandir today, you take a walk. The lights are bright. Someone came and took the time and spray painted with patience in very, very meticulous fashion a message. I don't know to who, but it made our mandir look very ugly. So to those people, I want to tell them your artistic talent is to compliment it. Your message means something, but it doesn't mean anything to me. If you're trying to send a message, you're delivering it to the wrong address. Whatever your grievances are, take them to where they belong. Do not bring them to Ram Mandir. We're all about love and harmony. Isn't that what we're about, ladies? Is that what we're about? A round of applause for what you're about. Okay? And in order to make those people's effort not be pointless, we are going to let it stay out there for 10 days so that people can see them. Isn't that what they wanted? So everybody take a look at it and then take a picture and send a comment of how you feel when you see it. If you feel disgusted, say, I feel disgusted. If you think it's a great thing, say, I think it's a great thing. Let the world know what you feel about this. And then I'm inviting all of you to join me and our Mandri and everyone else that we are invited on Friday, the 24th of February, from 5 to 7 p.m. out there. We'll be washing away the hate. That's our campaign. We'll use soap and water, but by the way, you do not wash away hate with soap and water. You wash away it with humility and compassion and understanding of forgiveness. So we are understanding these people's pain and we're forgiving them for their stupidity. And as such, let us do this together. The mayor of Mississauga has committed herself, Bonnie, to be there. I'm sure that Patrick Brown will confirm also, and many other politicians, and we've invited people from all the religious groups, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, everybody to be there together to do this. The message to these people is that in Canada, we live in harmony and solidarity. If you have come from a country where it's not, then go back there and do that there. Do not bring your disharmony and hatred to Canada and to Ram Mandir. That is the message we're sending. And send it to everyone that you know about. Because this is not the first mandir, we're the fourth mandir. And we want to change it now. So we're not going to confront it with bullets. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. You do not fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. We are using the water approach against the fire that they are trying to ignite. Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. These are some of the information, some things that maybe these people should do. They should come and help us deliver food instead of staying up at night and praying, spraying graffiti on walls. Now we invite everyone. सभी लोग खड़े हो जाए, आरती करेंगे, and we have sanitizing. Let me get the scale.
विष्णु सदा शिव हर हरि धारा ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव एकानंद चतुरानंद पंचानन राजे स्वामी पंचानन राजे हंसासन गरुडासन हंसासन गरुडासन विश्ववाहन साजे ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव योग चार चतुर भुज दस भुज ते सोहे स्वामी दस भुज ते सोहे तीनों रूप निरखता तीनों रूप निरखता त्रिभुवन जन मोहे ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव अक्षमाला वनमाला मुंडमाला धारी स्वामी मुंडमाला धारी चंदन मृगवन सोहे चंदन मृगवन सोहे भाले शशिधारी ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव श्वेतांबर पीतांबर बागंबर आगे स्वामी बागंबर आगे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादिक सनकादिक ब्रह्मादिक भूतादिक संगे ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव परमात्मे का मंडल चक्र त्रिशूलधरता स्वामी चक्र त्रिशूलधरता जग हरता जग हरता जग हरता जग हरता जग पालन करता ओम जय हर हर महादेव ओम जय हर हर महादेव
ओम जय शिव ओंकार
स्वामी जय शिव ओंकारा ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिव ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिव हर राखी धारा ओम जय हर हर महादेव
ओम जय हर हर महादेव। ताली रख दे सभी लोग हाथ जोड़कर। We clasp our hands in front of our chest and bow our heads. As we offer concluding prayers, we offer prayer for forgiveness. Om Karacharan Kritam Va Kayajam Karmajam Va Sravanayanam Janva Manasam Va Paradam वीतम् अवीतम् सर्वमे तत्क्षमस्व जय 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 करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो जय 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 करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय वन्दे देवमापदिं सुरगुरुं
वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशुनापतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवहिनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदनं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्
ॐ नमो शान्ति
अन्तरिक्षगुं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति रापः शान्ति ऋषिदय शान्ति वनस्पत्य शान्ति विश्वदेव शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वे वं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति शान्तिरेव।
शीश झुकाकर धरती पर प्रणाम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। आसतो मा
सद्गमय
तमसो मा
ज्योतिर्गमय
मृत्योर्माम्
अमृतं गमय
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु
निरामय सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
बोली सियापति रामचंद्र भगवान की
जय
पवन पुत्र हनुमान
की जय
राधा कृष्ण भगवान
की जय
गणपति भगवान की
जय
लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की
जय
सरस्वती माता की
जय
शंकर भगवान की
जय
जगदम्बे मैया की
जय
बोलिए सब संतन की
जय
सद्गुरुदेव महाराज की
जय
अपने अपने माता पिता की
जय
धर्म की
जय
जय अधर्म का
नाश हो
प्राणियों में
सद्भावना हो
विश्व का
कल्याण हो
धरती माता की
जय हो
भारत माता की
जय हो ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर हर महादेव। श्री सच्च सनातन धर्म की जय
व्यास जी महाराज की जय।
धन्यवाद। We thank you all for joining us tonight here and on social media. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Please come anytime during the day. We invite you to stay with us for tomorrow night when we will have that 12 hours of Vrat to 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And it's Sunday, it's Saturday. We are looking for volunteers to help us to organize people as they come in and out of the mandir. If you have not already given your name for volunteering, you want to, there's still time to get you engaged. So please let the front office know you're willing to volunteer to help us, what time you can come to the mandir to help. There's a need for managing the crowd coming in, the courtrooms, also prasad offering, parking lot, all of these activities we need help with. Mahapati